14 WILI and 95.3 FM presents Hometown Threads, a closer look at our community and the people that make it go. Every week, you'll hear uplifting stories from our local businesses and our neighbors. Now, here's our host for Hometown Threads, Keith C. Rice.
And we're back, Hometown Threads, after a 2-week vacation hiatus. Hometown Threads back on the air, 14 WILI, 95.3 FM, and Willimantic Today Facebook. Brought to you by Liberty Bank, be community kind with 3 great local locations. Of course, across the street from the radio station, 679 Main Street, Willimantic. Hello to Angela Smart and her crew. My wife, Marianne Gargoni, runs the branch down at Gateway Commons, West Main Street, Willimantic, and Route 195 in Mansfield. Big thanks to Liberty Bank, be community kind. J. Matt Rupar, if you wouldn't mind, say hello to the fine folks.
Hello.
Good to be back here in Hometown Threads after a couple weeks in sunny Southwest Florida where they have plenty of Dunkin' Donuts. Just thought, because today it's not only Liberty Bank bringing us Hometown Threads. Hometown Threads runs on Dunkin'. Keith C. Rice here, and we bring in episode 40 guest Jerry Jose, part of the Jose family of Dunkin' Donuts. Here in, how many stores do you guys own in the Willimantic area?
Currently we have 4 locations.
4. Let me see if I can name them. As long as I should know this. First of all, I live right down the street from the one in South Windham. Jerry's, you run the one in South Windham, right?
Correct, yeah.
You also run the one, actually, next to where my wife works,
Yep.
West Main Street, right?
Yep.
And then it's Ashley, your sister, who runs the Main Street
The main
Willimantic
store,
one.
yeah.
And then, wait, I know this, the 4th one. There's a 4th. Oh, Jackson Street, of course. Jackson Street. And so now, like Jerry, myself, we both grew up in a family business, and we'll probably get into that. But how many years has your family run those 4 Dunkin' Donuts stores in this area?
Well, we had the main store, which my father purchased in 1981.
Okay, so it all started in 81?
So it all started in 81.
And he, wow, 1981. So how did that all? Do you remember who he purchased it from? And it was just the Main Street store? Is that what you said?
Yeah, it was the Main Street location. He purchased it from Nick Bonacore. I don't know if you're familiar with him.
My name sounds familiar.
Yeah.
So he bought the Main Street store, and then how did the other ones? Come along? And when did the other ones come along?
The other ones came in 2000s, 2007, 2009.
Were that recent?
Pretty much in the 2000s.
Oh, so the three we just mentioned, besides the Main Street one where your father bought it in 1981, those 3 other ones came in the early mid 2000s.
Yeah.
I would have thought the 90s, really.
No.
Okay.
Because I graduated high school in 92, and I pretty much started in 90 when I was about 16.
All right, let's get into that. As we usually do with all our guests here in Hometown Threads, we go way back. Jerry and I are only 2 years apart. He's 2 years younger than me. We didn't really run with the same crowd, but I also had a lot of friends in Legion baseball, and I kept thinking Jerry was part of that team, but he was a few years younger. The Buskies, the Pekhorovics, the Powdies, but they all all you guys knew each other.
Yeah.
But baseball's a big sport for you, and that was you and I are big sports fans. That's the thing. When I pull up in the drive-thru and talk to Jerry, we usually get as busy as he is, you get a few comments, and we don't. We may have grown up in a family business, have that in common. We do not have our sports teams. We don't have anything in common when it comes to that. But anyway, so we'll have a little small talk when it comes to the drive-thru. But baseball was your main sport. Tell us about that. You didn't go to Windham. You grew up going to E.O. Smith, right?
I did. I grew up. I played Little League, Senior League, all here in Willimantic.
Okay.
And then we moved to Mansfield. I was in the 8th grade.
That's right. Now it's starting to come back to me a little. So you played Willimantic Little League like myself. Let me guess. I should know this because you played for the Elks, right?
Yeah.
Remember.
Yes, sir.
I knew you had some kind of affiliation growing up playing baseball in Willimantic. But then I forgot you guys moved to Mansfield, and that's what, because I kept thinking, because you played Willimantic Little League Baseball, that you went to Windham or Windham Tech. But you went to E.O. Smith. Well, first of all, tell us a little about growing up in Willimantic before you guys moved to Mansfield. You went to Kramer, right?
We moved here 2nd grade, so I went to Natchog all the way up to the 5th grade, I believe it is.
Well, let's go further back. I didn't know this, too. As long as I've known the Jose family, I'm sorry, you moved here in 2nd grade. Where were you born?
We're from Rhode Island.
Ah, what part?
East Providence.
So let me get this straight. You grew up in Rhode Island, which is in New England, and you are a New York Yankees fan, an LA Lakers fan. Am I right so far?
Yep.
A San Francisco 49ers fan.
Yep. I should have been born in
I'm trying to stop right.
California.
Yeah, I know. And wait, did I miss one? I said Yankees, Lakers, 49ers, and wait, am I missing one? You don't follow hockey or?
Hockey, I like the Bruins.
Oh, that's nice.
I'll throw that one in there.
Rhode Island native here. He's gonna throw us a bone. So anyway, okay. So you moved here in second grade, went to Natchog, from Natchog, Kramer.
Kramer to the 7th grade.
Okay, and then seventh grade was the Mansfield move.
Mansfield Middle, yeah.
Okay, now before we get into all that and go to E.O. Smith, you're the oldest. Ashley, then Dave. Is that how it goes?
It goes me, Dave, and Ashley.
Oh, you, David. Ashley's the youngest. Okay.
Yeah.
So you go to Kramer. Now it's on to, you guys move to Mansfield. You're an E.O. Smith Panther. You start there freshman year. Did you notice a big difference between, Mansfield and Willimantic, it's basically neighboring towns. You didn't notice a big difference. What did you like? What were back then, Wyndham school system compared to, and you probably had a lot of friends in Willimantic. Did you like your 4 years at E.O. Smith? Did you like Mansfield?
I did. I mean, like you said, you have to make new friends, obviously. But, yeah, I didn't have any issues, Played sports, freshman basketball, and then played baseball 4 years.
A lot of Mansfield Willimantic kids all know each other anyway. It's kind of like Columbia Willimantic
Right.
Mansfield. It's not like it's 20 minutes down the road. I went to St. Bernard my last 2 years, but a lot of Willimantic kids went there as well. But anyway, back to E.O. Smith and sports, and you were all just baseball, right? Or you played freshman year basketball? Tell us about playing sports at E.O. Smith and baseball and all that.
I mean, our teams weren't very good, but I mean, it was okay. I mean, I made
Were you
all
a coach?
conference.
You made all conference? Were you a starter?
I was a starter
Starting pitching?
sophomore year.
Pitching.
Pitcher, outfield, first base, wherever I was needed, I would.
All
play.
conference?
All conference, yeah.
For
My
how many years
senior-
again?
My senior year.
Okay. So you're all conference senior year, still playing those multiple positions.
Yeah.
How far did you take E.O. Smith in your senior year?
We won 4 games.
Oh, okay, wasn't that good of a team?
But we beat Wyndham High School the last game of the season.
That must have felt good.
At Eastern, so
At Eastern.
it was like it was like the World Series.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so senior year, were you getting some looks? What was going through your mind? Going, I'd love to go to play college baseball. Were you getting looks like?
Not at all. I mean, the last game of the season, it was against Wyndham. Coach Holowati was there, and I decided to walk on the following year as a freshman.
Okay. We had Ken Dahlia in here too, and he told us some great Holowati stories too. So I'm sure you may have some, maybe you don't. What was it like approaching Coach Holowati and asking? How do you just go up to him and say, "I'd like to walk on"? Like, how's that work?
Well, I knew Coach because he came to Duncan every day, so I pretty much waited on him.
There you go. Did you ask him in Duncan?
No, I didn't ask him in Duncan.
Okay. That would have been great. Especially if you stayed on the. Well, anyway, tell us how. So you come into Duncan every day, but go ahead. I cut you off. How did you eventually ask him about walking on?
Well, I didn't really ask him. It's just a date you show up.
Oh, you just show up?
Yeah.
Tell us about that day. Like you walked on because.
Walked on. I mean, it's pretty much a lot of running. Trying out, pitching.
He's a hard guy to play for, isn't he?
His coaching staff pretty much handled a lot of it because a guy like him, he wasn't. I mean, he would be there, but he wouldn't say much.
His staff ran a lot.
Yeah, his staff did a lot of it.
Okay.
And then you'd have meetings with him, like throughout the year or throughout the fall season, and then.
So you ended up making the team, though, right?
Huh?
You ended up making the team.
No, I did.
I thought you said.
I played for the fall season.
Oh, fall. And then, okay, take us through that. You played through the fall, and then what? You just knew, okay, it's time to get into the family business, or did you still have that urge and that ambition to play baseball?
Well, that first year I was going to school, baseball, working, so I was doing all 3, and it kind of caught up with me.
Yeah.
Where with baseball, it's pretty much a full-time job when you're talking college sports. you have to be dedicated to it. And I mean, with work, you know, my father was strong about work. I had to work.
Well, let me cut you off there for a second. Did you, while you're in this transition of baseball, schoolwork, the business, did your dad already said, hey, I want you in the family business, or did he say, I want to leave it up to you? How did that all work out?
He pretty much said that I wasn't going to be a baseball player. I
love your dad.
I mean, it's pretty.
That's funny because my dad didn't want me to do radio. So no, I'm kidding. My parents supported me, but he did show me other avenues. So okay, so your dad says, hey, look, you know, even way before the whole ECSU walk-on thing, you knew, okay, family business, right?
No, it's like you said. He didn't like push it on you. He was like, you know, if you need to go out and do something else,
okay.
you know, go ahead. But you know, the money making is not gonna be as good as working at Dunkin' and owning your own business. So
I'm glad you did it. I'm putting you right on the spot. You glad you did it or what?
I am glad I did it.
He's wearing the Dunkin' sweatshirt.
I am glad I did it.
Jerry Jose is with us, episode 40 of Hometown Threads on 14 WILI 95.3 FM and Willimantic Today Facebook, brought to you by Liberty Bank, Be Community Kind, and Today Dunkin' Donuts. Hometown Threads runs on Dunkin'. You know, it's episode 40, Jerry. I expected confetti to fall from the ceiling and where are the donuts? And
man.
You didn't bring the donuts?
I thought you already had your coffee and donuts for the day.
You can tell I've had the coffee. But okay, so you know, you and I always had that sports connection as we talked about, and maybe someday down the road, you and I could do a sports show. I know you've wanted me to bring back a sports show.
Yeah, that'd be great.
But you'd be a part of it because you know, a few years ago, as many times I see you in the drive-thru, you brought up some great ideas, and you've had me. We talked about it before we went on the air here. That itch to go back and do sports talk, and even if it's like real local sports talk, but. You know, and we'll always have that sports connection, but at the end of the day, we know what calls us. You know, I ended up doing radio. You ended up working for your family business, and big props to the Jose family. And your family's fantastic. Knowing your dad Manny for years, he's done a great job at the Main Street store. Of course, your brother Dave is right there at the Main Street store with Ashley and with your father, and then you do South Wyndham and again West Main Street. I kind of gave you, maybe throughout the years and a little right now, an inside peek of me growing up in a family business. Let's hear Jerry's take on, obviously you have your ups and downs. And before, tell us about what it's like for you and what it's been like for you growing up in a family business. I can tell you, before I let you get into it, that there were times in my early days here at WILI where we'd go home and I had all these ideas I hit my father with. And at the end of the day, he said, I don't want to talk about it. I don't bring work home. I don't know if your dad was like that, but I remember my dad just shut me down at the dinner table. So how about you, family business?
No, we've always talked business, maybe too much. And you know how you get into those arguments with your dad about the business, but it's always good, you know. I started when I was 16. He ran me right from the bottom to the top. So
take us through that. What do you mean he took you right through the
working when I was 16, night shift till 10 o'clock at night, waiting on customers, then baking donuts. Pretty much everything you see as a customer, I was doing, early, and I still do today.
And now that you're an owner, obviously you've been an owner for years, you got to know the inside and out, the ins and outs of running an operation and trying to keep a staff together. And I know even pre-COVID, post-COVID, whatever, that had to be. In fact, it was your store. I tell you, I think it was it was the South Wyndham drive-thru shortly after COVID. Maybe as we are post-COVID now. I think we've officially said that. Although I know numbers just went up a little recently, but it was. I drove through. I want to say about a year or so ago. There was a sign saying, and I'm not. You'll know what I'm talking about in a second. I'm not going to repeat it word for word because I'm trying to remember it. But it made me laugh, saying, "Please be patient." You know what I'm going at, right?
Yeah.
Because you guys were, you didn't have that much of a staff
Short
at the time.
staff.
Yeah, we're short staff. If you have a problem with that or something like that, feel free to help us look for more people or something like that. You remember that sign?
I think my sister.
Oh,
put that
I could
sign.
see. In fact, I thought of that. I'm like, that looks like an Ashley sign.
My sister put up that sign for sure.
That's right, because she was there at the time.
Yeah, she was at the
And
time.
I know I didn't repeat the sign the way it was written. It was really well done. But you got the message. And that just doesn't go for Dunkin' Donuts. A lot of people were short-staffed, during COVID, post-COVID, whatever, because, just people weren't working.
Mm-hmm.
But that has to be a challenge, too, because, you probably have a lot of young people that are going through, they're mainly in high school, some are in college, right? And people, they're in and out and getting on with their lives. So what's it like trying to, hold the staff together no matter which store you're at? That's got to be, as an owner and a manager.
You have to have a doctrine in psychology.
Because some of those kids, as hard as they work, and they're doing the best they can, and they're really young for the most part, right?
I think today's day and age, most people today have a hard time multitasking, so it's very difficult for them to do more than one thing at a time. Where I learned how to do you just keep going. You do whatever you have to do. Today, you need more structure, where you need more people actually to do one person's job 20 years ago.
Totally hear you, because and going back to like the young, because mostly all those stores that you guys own are a lot of drive-throughs I go through, a lot of younger kids, probably some of them their first jobs. So I'm just guessing now, I could be totally wrong, there's probably a lot of turnover, right, within those staffs, because kids are, they got other stuff going on. And
I try not to turn over. I try to work with everybody. I try to train them as much as possible, because it is harder if you get rid of someone, you have to train another
I'm not
person.
saying you getting rid. I'm just saying these kids, hey, I'm going to go to this. They're jumping around job to job at that age. Nothing to do with your management skills, I'm just saying at that age they're young and they're anxious. They want to try new things. Do you find a lot of turnover in those regards, or is it just?
No, I don't, because I work with them more. I mean, our family is more hands-on. We're in the stores every day, so we're working with people. Whereas some owners who never are in their stores, don't see it.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I think it's time and it's patience with these high school kids today. I mean, again, some of them have sports, some of them, can't come in because they have to study for a test one day, but it's more or less making sure that communication between everybody is there.
And that's a very good point. You just mentioned that your father, Ashley, Dave, you guys are all very visible.
Yeah.
Every store you go to, it's South Wyndham, West Main Street, Main Street, and Jackson Street. You guys are, it depends. I mean, you can't be three stores at once. But you're going to see a Jose if you go to, most of those stores. And obviously, Jerry, you're probably, I'm guessing, you're probably at Jackson Street the least amount of time. Right?
I'm at West Main Street. My two kids are now involved in the business.
I was about to ask you that too. So you have, tell us about your kids.
Yeah, my daughter is 26. My son will be 24. My son went to Eastern and played on the national championship team at Eastern in 2022.
Did I know this? Oh my God! Well, if I do now, that's huge news.
That's big, yeah.
He played on the most recent ECSU baseball national championship team. Tell us your kids' names.
Andre and Hannah.
Okay. Did Andre start?
He was a pitcher. He played for 5 years. He pretty much got hurt that 2021 national championship, but he traveled. He got a ring, and his final year, he got a little more time. He pitched about 10 innings. He was part of a no-hitter, actually.
Are you serious?
At Eastern, yeah.
How proud are you of that accomplishment right there?
I mean, it's big for seeing that, how I went and then he went and he actually fulfilled it. I mean, it's awesome.
Oh, did you? No, wait. Where was the national championship played again? That was just a couple years ago. Where was that game played? Oh, it was out in the Midwest somewhere.
Field was it in Iowa?
Iowa, Wisconsin, or something. I think you're right. It was Iowa. Did you go?
No, I didn't. I was here working.
Wait a minute. Hold up. Were parents allowed? Well, they had to go on their own.
They did, yeah. But I didn't go.
Because you had to hold down one of the stores?
Yeah, I just wanted him to have that experience for himself.
Oh,
you know?
that is fantastic.
Yeah.
You know, I think I knew that. He must have just forgot. Well, congrats to Andre,
Yeah.
and that's right, your sons were... Now, okay, so you said Hannah and Andre are getting involved within the stores. So is Andre just done with baseball? Is he doesn't want to pursue
He's a
it?
softball player now.
Is it That's what we do. We play. See, I would have eventually... I'd like to play... Do you play softball at all?
I do play.
Okay,
I still
we'll have
play
to talk about that because when you play baseball growing up, you really don't take it to the next level. You turn into a softball player, which there's a lot of good softball players. There used to be very good baseball players in this area. So we'll talk a little about that. But so Andre, is he playing with you on softball or what?
Yeah, he's on our team now. Yeah, I mean he had a chance to go back because of the COVID rules, so he could have went back for another year, but he just was done with it.
Wow. Wow, that's great. Now tell us, Hannah and Andre, do you have them at different stores or how's that working?
Yeah, right now Hannah's at West Main Street, the store by BJ's, and I have Andre working in South Wyndham.
Wow. Okay. Are they? Well, let's see. I can't believe you have a kid that's 26 and 24. I feel really old now. Are they been promoted to managers, or are you just still working them in?
My daughter has been there for years, so she has a handle on pretty much everything. She's basically a manager of the store with Casey. Our
I was about to say, I see Casey. She is wonderful. I'm sure you hear this from a lot of people. I moved away for 7.5 years, and my wife works down that way now, West Main Street, you mentioned. And once in a while, I'll go through that drive-through. But what really surprised me is I moved back after 7.5 years in Pennsylvania, and Casey remembered me. I was blown away. And she's been there forever.
She's awesome. She's, I don't know where we would be without her, to be honest.
So there's probably a lot of people that have, along with your family, obviously been like glue members, part of that staff. Casey's one of them. Excuse me. Are there any other people at the top of your head that might not be there anymore, but that played a part throughout the years with the Jose family and running Dunkin' Donuts?
More or less, maybe my father has those.
Yeah.
But for me, it's pretty much been her.
Casey's been.
Yeah.
Now she's always been West Main Street, right? You want to get that. Lance Ladd was a guest on our show. He answered it. Can I answer it live on the air?
No, I'm all right.
Okay. Go on. You sure you don't want to answer? This could be fun.
It's off. Sorry.
That's all right. So yeah, tell us about how Manny, your father's, doing these days. He's cut back a little.
He's trying. Like any other old school guy who's worked all his life. It's a little hard for him to just sit back and watch, but he's trying. We're trying to push him away a little bit, try to relax a little more, enjoy his retirement.
Kind of doing without my dad because we just
their dad, yeah.
found out Manny and my father Colin were born in the same year. I think your father might be when was your father born? What month?
August.
Okay, my father's May of 47. So yeah, anyway, they're 76, 77 years old. But yeah, okay, somebody left a voicemail.
It's actually my plumber.
It's the plumber. Oh, you could have took it live. You could have took that call.
He's probably looking for his money.
Hey, the plumber could have been a future guest on Hometown Friends. Anyway, we only have a couple minutes left. Wow, show flew by. Yeah, but I can't say enough about your family. We should mention your mom. We've already mentioned Manny, your father, Ashley, Dave, your mom. What's her name? Maria. She's kind of, you're saying, you don't see Maria really in the stores, but she's like a big part behind the scenes, right?
She's the glue in the back.
She's the glue.
Yeah, she's the glue. She's the boss.
Okay. So she's actually there, or she worked from home, or?
No, she was more or less, housewife, taking care of the kids.
But she's the business part of it, right?
Yeah.
Is that what you said before?
Yeah.
Okay. So am I leaving anyone out? Manny, Dave, Ashley, you, your mom, Maria. Is there any?
No.
In this last minute or two, is there anything you'd like to push or mention? Anybody you want to thank throughout these years? You guys, the Jose family, have done a wonderful job with the Dunkin' Donuts business. Is there go ahead, any final words from Jerry Jose?
I would just want to thank all our customers, like yourself, who have come to us for years, your mom, your whole family, obviously. Everybody in the community, everybody in the community has helped us to where we are today, and we wouldn't be here without those people.
Well, we can't thank you enough. He's a quiet guy. He's a good longtime friend of mine. I'm glad I finally got him in here. I really thought he was going to back out at the last second because he's shy. And because when Jerry and I talk, as we've done throughout the years, we've usually taken or talking trash when it comes
We
to
just
sports.
trash talk about
Yeah.
sports. We don't discuss the sports. We trash.
Well, you have to, you're in the drive-thru for you got to get your comment in quick. It's almost like a sports talk show. Get that comment in quick because there's someone behind you. So, in fact, there was one time, real quick before we wrap this up, I think it was within the year, you and I were going just back and forth, not even trash talking, just talking sports. And next thing I know, oh my God, this person was sitting behind me. I felt so bad I was going to get him in trouble.
He's honking the horn.
I should have just picked up his order. All right, Jerry, Jose, thank you.
Thank you.
The Jose family, Dunkin' Donuts, South Wyndham, Jackson Street, West Main Street, Willimantic. Thank you to Liberty Bank, Be Community Kind, J. Matt Rupar. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Episode 40 in the books, Hometown Threads on 14 WILI, 95.3 FM, and Willimantic Today Facebook. And in the words of the great Ronnie McCumber,
bye for now, folks. Bye for now.
And that concludes another edition of Hometown Threads. Got a story for Keith? Reach out to him on Facebook by searching Keith C. Rice or email him at krice@hallradio.net. Don't forget to tune in next week on 14 WILI and 95.3 FM, as well as the Willimantic Today page on Facebook.